Mic check. What's up, y'all? This your boy Crypto Bruh, and we're gonna give away some free potatoes right now. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2024. And I'm going to give away 500 potatoes on Solana. Classic giveaway. Not too many people participated, so I guess it's going to go to somebody who fucking hopefully wanted some potatoes. But we got the picker right here. You needed to follow Potato Vampire, Tree City West, and myself. Let's go ahead and hit the continue button. These are all the candidates here. There's like 19 people loaded up. You got a 1 in 19 chance at winning this. 500 potatoes. Begin drawing. Shoutouts Crypto Neek. He let's get it. Bum, 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 bum. I ain't got all that other shit. Let's go ahead and tell him to drop the. Where is this post at? So let me see more replies. Where is he at? Oh, he probably hit it with the repost. Well, it gave me the thing over here. All right. Shout out to Crypto Neek. I'll be seeing him in the chat, bro. So you about to get the 5 million potatoes airdrop to you. I'll be waiting for your DM. I think I just gotta follow you real quick. Let me go ahead and follow you so you can DM me, and I'll send you 5 million potatoes. The first giveaway from the Potato Vampire Kingdom. It's a meme coin on Solana, and it spawned from the Zen community. It's actually doing really, really well right now, which is hilarious. Yeah, everything else is falling apart, but Potato Vampire is over here trying to do something nasty on the meme world. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta believe in it, but the chart won't lie. So big ups to Crypto Neek for joining the giveaway and winning those 5 million potatoes. Here, let's see how much 5 million potatoes are now. Yeah, so $95, bro. Or if let's see here. What's that in Solana? We got to do it in Solana. That's 0.6 Solana. You can get away with a lot of stuff. You go do a lot of things. But yeah, man, I just want to give away those potatoes and again, bring light to the memes. We got one over there in Solana land. That's where we've landed. As the title says today, base plus Solana. That's 2024 for sure. And yeah, man, today's Monday, June 6th, 2024. Like, it's the middle of the entire year and almost the middle of the month of the middle of the year. So you're in the middle. I don't know what you're doing. I'm observing and watching how everything's playing out. We got Zen doing the Zen thing. If you're looking at price today on a Monday, I don't really recommend it. Again, at this point, if you don't get it, you should just get away from it. Right? The people who really get it, like, they give, like myself, like we don't really care anymore of the price. You know, Doomsday was back here, man. That was back in May when we didn't break back up above 6 zeros and a 3. That was it. It was over. So it has been pre-calculated, right? Because a lot of this is just moving on the fibs, because everybody's just waiting on Jack 11. It's Jack 11's project, so very unique characteristics to this one. But the best part about it is at least it's open source. It's 400 lines of code, can't be changed, 12 different EVMs. So it doesn't really matter what the price does, because eventually, if there is a community, a reason, and a purpose, 2 to 3 years down the line from now, XEN makes sense on its own. It doesn't really need humans explaining it to humans on why it works, right? It's just going to be in the middle of its deflationary state where all of the maximum amount of coins have been created. We haven't hit that place yet. That won't come into effect in supply until like 2026, which isn't actually that far away. So that's why, again, the community, right? It's like a community thing. This could be something that's taken over and makes its own reality, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But personally, it's in price discovery still. And it's unique in that sense where it's not only shaking people out based on whatever they want to believe, right? So there's always going to be two sides of the coin, right? And the realist side at this point is knowing it's going to take 3 years from inception before tokenomics take advantage of like this open source project. Currently, it can be controlled, or in this state where it is now, I think XEN is still unique and it can turn around at any moment. But the sell pressure, it needs to be invited. And that's one thing that is awkward on the XEN chart. There's nobody promoting selling, and there's no market for a seller, right? It's just mentors getting the last bit of whatever they can, going and getting your dust. So you claim all your XEN and just sell it all, right? That's nothing. It's a nothing new behavior. It's just more intense now because everybody gets it. That, hey, maybe I should sell my XEN once I mint it, so I don't, keep holding it, and then I'm selling down here when I could be selling up here, right? So that's just the community consensus forced by supply. That's cool, that's why, again, it's pretty unique to see it on Ethereum, but then you go and look at XEN on Base, right? And this is why I'm still like, yo, it doesn't really matter what people fucking think. It's all about being a whale and pursuing it. So right now on Base, again, there was a decline in minting because Base, it had a gas problem, but the gas problem is changing every single week. The perception in crypto of what is high gas and what is legacy chain and what people give a fuck about, like that shit is an ongoing changing narrative. It's never set in stone. It probably won't be forever, because that's the market. The market is better, faster, stronger, right? So looking at CBZen now, this came all the way down, found some sort of floor right here, but again, this particular moment back where we had this exchange of hands, we're looking at the daily, and this is the RSI. Again, we have over purchased and then oversold. So when we see it do this, it really does, like on a fair launch coin. That's like one thing people can't take away from a fair launch coin, is that it has a natural exchange of hands. Here we go. It's all good, bro. I'm going to let the harassment harass. Da-na-na. But yeah, what's funny about this right here is, again, it can stride. It can do whatever it wants to do as long as people are getting behind it. And the exchange of hands that takes place on the RSI, it's simply when you can apply sell pressure from others changing whatever you want to think it is. I think it's like people get tired of holding and they see a moment of exit. So in this moment, a bunch of Xenians came over here because I was just saying like, yo, look at Base when you look at it on a total supply, right? So we look over here and you can see in Base, currently, most of it is staked, right? So since most of it is staked, you know, that probably means people have been staking it and staking xeNFTs. Now, I don't fucking know, right? When they're going to come and demolish this awesome setup, in my opinion. Because, again, it's public, so anybody can do anything. And those that are mining, you know, you're just mining, you know, because you want to at this point. I like the idea of self-custody. I think Zen has a place on Base. Base doesn't have too many, again, foundational utility coins. And this is still going to be connected to X1 chain because that is still coming out. Even though it's very abstract in its release, it's still going to come out. And again, these Zen tokens all have that destination. So living in an environment like Base, where the gas fees now aren't challenged by natural users, because again, the game is flipped. So people are going to Base because the fees are cheap and they can use their Ethereum, right? And ETH is more of a brand than it is, you know, how do you say, a household name. You know, it's just really just a brand, you know, and maybe your older brother had some Ethereum coins, right? But you got like, it's you know, this one's forever changing. This one isn't like a hard brand. It's definitely going to change, and Base is coming in slick with it, right? So a week ago, just to kind of relate like the outside framework to this whole scenario. Oh shit, I hit the refresh. Base introduced their smart wallet, right? So this is different because it's the fucking regular normal Coinbase wallet, but now they're calling it a, you know, smart wallet where it's going to become physical, and they want this to happen. Now, what's funny to me is that, yeah, we live in a whole new reality of cryptocurrency where no one really cares about PKs or private keys. You know, the average user really is going to come online and just join something and just understand, again, what brand they're working with, right? They understand the ideology of wanting to be self-custody, but they don't understand like the root of where it comes from. And that's all right. Like, you'll have camps where they express that, like Zen, where everybody is saying, you know, remember the past, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's a collection. It's a mindset. It's a, you know, it's that of what the internet is, in my opinion. So seeing these though, and knowing how like the regular people are just going to join this, you know, I think Base Zen has a great story and narrative for Base because it's already offset, and the gas fees, that just kind of is whatever, you know. It's going to go up as high as it can. It's like, yo, how many coins can Zen actually print before it can't print anymore? And then what happens when you burn them all? It's as simple as that. It's a very easy narrative. And again, it's finished. It has no owner. So everybody can run with it and build with it. But yeah, looking at this Base thing again, as the devs. See, and that's why I'm like, great. I'm happy I haven't released something yet. Because I'm saving it for whatever is going to be the future. So yeah, it doesn't, I'm glad I didn't release anything on Ethereum because that's all scramble now that the gas is the way it is. Because gas is cheap on ETH, but it's really, you're paying for block space. So it's more enterprise based, right? It's like, it is for like a Coinbase for them to roll up transactions from their chain to this chain. It's not really for like customer to customer anymore, or P2P. But see, in this right here, this is where I was looking at this like this frequently asked questions area, and it's like, what layer 2 networks and apps do smart wallets support, right? So this is like, again, this is being shilled to your mom and dad and those that don't know but they want to get into crypto, right? So they think they're the regular wallet, the Rabby is a smart wallet, bro. I mean, it is a smart wallet, you know, but it's just not branded by Coinbase as a smart wallet. So it's just changing. It's a real basketball shoe. So it's like, what layer 2 networks and apps do smart wallets support? And it's like smart wallets support 8 networks. Oh, only 8. Base, Ethereum, Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, BNB, and Zora. So just seeing this in general. And remember, I was saying, yo, watch out for Zora. Zora is a sleeper. And I got history in the music industry, so I'm keeping my eye on Zora. But yeah, seeing this right here, this is pretty much the big 8 coming up on layer 2s. So like, you don't even need to dip and dance in any other layer 2 except for these, right? And I mean, that's why too, it's crazy like the way XEN came out, because it covered the basis of the right EVMs, and then it came out with the right layer 2s. So everything has the ability to have that billboard still, because these smart wallets are going to come out and they're mainly going to support tokens that are going to be able to be seen, like the CBZen, like the Optimism Zen, you know, and this is just a moment in time. Actually, Optimism Zen is getting ready to have the end of its AMP. So if you did want Fast and the Furious Volume 2 type Zen, you would be looking at this right now. Here, let's look at that. The haters will pop out all the time. That's cool though. What up, Lita? What up, Dank? Potato Toshi. For sure. All right. But yeah, looking at Optimism Zen. And also too, like I was saying before, the way you look at Zen is that if you've been analyzing it the way that I've been analyzing it, is it's like blockchain's report card on block production. There's some chains that produce blocks very well, and then there's other chains that don't. But then there's this incentive where you could essentially switch things up and then people show up. So that's like Optimism, right? Base and Optimism started at the same time, but Optimism Zen got a different AMP. Base got the normal 8-year AMP. So the 8-year speculation of like what happens after the S curve and it becomes disinflationary, where now you have to pump money in. Right now in Zen, you don't really have to pump in money, so nobody can miss out. Like the more money you pump in, the more risk you take. That's the mind fuck of entering the 8-year swing. When you enter the 8-year swing, you really are printing more if you inflate the price or inflate the token. So that's the advantage. And if you don't want to inflate Zen, you're never going to win, right? And that's why, again, it was fun when everybody was understanding that we should, like, I guess like it was natural. Everybody inflated it and made a market until a couple weeks ago, where it was blatantly seen like, oh, this is overinflating. And, you know, you can only go back and say, oh, what XYZ could have you've done differently so that Zen didn't hyperinflate and it works faster, right? You still need a blockchain, but that's stupid. Like waiting on a blockchain kind of proves that there's really no utility in crypto in general, right? That's why I like proof of work still, because the speculation on a proof of work coin much higher, and it's connected to real world asset, right? That's XEN, that's XENblocks. Zen is more speculative because you're speculating on a pool of blocks, right? And that's why, again, like Phantom, one of the fastest blockchains out of all of these, has the highest global rank, right? They have the fastest speed of blocks, right? And then you have these pools again of like where the concentrated idea of Zen is. One of those being Pulse Chain, another one of those being Polygon, right? Another one of those being Binance Chain, and ETH-PAL. Like give ETH-PAL a shout out. Their global rank is high. They push the fuck out of the blocks over there. I don't know why. But then this just also proves this whole like universe thing. It just proves where the actual minds were. And if you're not in one of these, you actually are an outsider to Zen. Like if you started on Ethereum, even though this got 80% of the weight, majority of the testing of like what you can do with Zen was happening on these side chains. That's why if you went to Avalanche, I think we didn't get to see, you know, that volatility that all these other ones saw because the block space is expensive, right? And the global rank shows that, being right behind Ethereum. Same with Moonbeam. Moonbeam has pretty expensive block space, you know, and that's why no one cared to continue over there, right? Whereas EVMOS, it was blown up because the validators wanted it, right? And that's why now it's all funky, because it was never user driven on EVMOS. It was always, they had validators that wanted to do other things. They seen it like, oh, we can move transactions, right? Now EVMOS is censoring Zen because that's just where it is, right? And again, Pulse Chain has a really good global rank, a lot of blocks, because this is where a lot of Zenians started, right? They all started from the Hex community, that particular Pulse Chain community. So there's a big influence of how to use Zen over there. So the blocks got 8, right? And this is again why I like Optimism and Base. These are layer 2s to the Ethereum, right? So these ones are different because it's subsidized real Zen, right? So whenever the ideology comes back around, because we're like in a bull market or some dumb shit, you know, everyone's going to be able to identify like the Zens that are associated with the ETH. And that won't be hard to choose. Now, everything else, like I've been saying over the past like 4 to 5 months, it's about the native coin. And these native coins are connected to their databases. And the databases in crypto are layer 1. That's where the argument is. The arguments are on layer 1 subjects. Layer 2s are for smart wallets, and that is gated community. Like frequently asked questions, you're not going to see Pulse Chain pop up here. I am sorry. Maybe, but I doubt it. This is a gang. I've seen Zora being promoted by Coinbase from the very beginning. They made the mint.fm. That's who runs mint.fm, is Zora. And Zora is classic internet shit. Have you ever heard of Hype Machine? This shit goes way back. It was like early 2010s. So Hype Machine is like a music blog for sharing from way back when. And it's still around, you know, but now they've made Zora Chain, and like everything is tied together. And I mean, it makes sense. Like it's starting, like the whole 2024 is making so much sense. Like why X1 chain would take forever, because in this current element of crypto where you really are looking at it as like, people want to make money off crypto. Like people don't want to live in the shadows. But if you really want to intertwine business with passion, right? Because you want to do it right, you have to get all this legal shit involved, and maybe sometimes riding the coattail of someone who's done a lot of groundwork makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. Like the fact they put BNB here is pretty bizarre. You know, this is going to be shield to Americans, but they have BNB. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's all in the same everything. I've seen that multiple times. But yeah, Zora, you should go check out this one. It's like for NFTs, and they give away a lot of free NFTs because it's like in beta form right now, I guess you can say, because there's not a lot of interaction right now, I guess you could say. Yeah, like, because, yeah, everyone's getting to know these brands right now. So over time, because they're going to be around, right? They're not going to leave. What the fuck is this? What is this? Art Angel. Never Stop Dreaming. 0.3 ETH. What's trending? Oh yeah, they always have these like marble things. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the crypto industry, but it's just like in selected areas. And that's kind of what I'm seeing too with Solana, right? So, I mean, this is like the wildest transition. But yeah, looking at like ETH right now. Man, oops, this is frozen. Hold on, we gotta refresh it. But yeah, like Ethereum is doing really well with holding liquidity, which it's supposed to do. But now the different, like everything is becoming defined. Before it was like mysterious, like, oh, why is Tron got so much, TVL? And it's like, oh, they back majority of the of the tether in the planet Earth. So the TVL is essentially stablecoin, right? So you get why like Tron is number 3 biggest TVL in crypto, right? Like Justin Sun is running that specific sector, backed by his own Bitcoins and other things, if you want to get more political with it. But Tron is Tron, and shout outs Tron. Still got a couple of those coins. It's going down. Maybe one day it'll get to $1. Who fucking knows? Then you got BNB. The CZ's only doing four months. He'll be out. He can't have his hands in Binance, but no one said he can't use the chain. So, I'm very curious to see the return of CZ. That's a chapter we haven't seen yet. We don't know what's gonna happen. It's 4 months down the road from now, maybe next year, 2025. Peak bull. We'll get some crazy variant of a very classy man, as people say. But yeah, that's why their TVL is holding up, right? They have a lot of speculation to not leave. Then we have Solana, right? Solana coming in at number 4. After Solana, you have Arbitrum, Blast, Base, Merlin. That's a Bitcoin sidechain. Bitcoin itself, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Sui, right? And I mean, as you get down here, you're losing billions. You're stepping into hundreds of millions, right? So Solana is like actually very interesting because people are willing to put TVL in a non-EVM environment, a non-stablecoin environment, a non-speculative environment, simply development, right? That's kind of insane. It's almost like it's its own development camp, like as a big crypto experiment, as if no one is deciding to tap into this particular interest, right? And everybody is like, it's only going to speculate on TradFi transition into DeFi. Like these tokens can only be used to be paired together to make liquidity. Like, okay, cool. That makes sense. Right. But Solana is backed by a lot of people who believe that Sol, will be a network of the future. And now as I've analyzed it for over a month, I can understand it. And they're building the DeFi in now, which is actually pretty interesting as well for Solana. That DeFi has come second. They've chose art and tech first and DeFi second. And now this area right here, this lull, is all art and NFTs, trying to figure out utility. But again, the conversation now between what is the future of crypto, as in latency, and what is legacy, latency versus legacy, right? It does raise a big question of like, why is everything following Ethereum? If you really step out, because why don't you like Solana if you like cryptocurrency and everything is a processor and your computer is running on a fucking processor? Like that's like basically saying fuck GPUs or like fuck CPUs if you don't like Solana, because that's all it is. It can become decentralized if people can afford the compute power, and that's like a challenge amongst reality, right? Like that's a physical barrier that everyone is growing to try to understand. How do you even finesse that, right? Jack Levin's moving with an army of cloud miners, people who know how to spin up CPUs and repurpose the compute to do other logic. That's essentially what the Xenians are doing now. Everybody who's going to turn on a Solana sidechain for Solana is going to probably be doing it with rented compute. And I'm trying to say, in my opinion, I think that's kind of a cool angle, never seen before. And again, Solana is growing in TVL, so why wouldn't you want to also hook up to it, right, as it explodes? Because now it's the new thing. It's not the, old thing. And the other new things are things that can get the light, right? So we're looking at base. We're looking at optimism. But that's, again, why I like base. When you do the research, you learn base is a stack of optimism. So base is what Optimism always wanted. They didn't ever want to be a real chain. They wanted enterprise businesses like a Coinbase to integrate their products in. And then Coinbase says, what did the motherfucker say? Look at this. It says the SDK integrates into thousands of apps. It will go into the SDK. They're using Optimism SDK in Smart Wallet, and now is theirs. But it started with Optimism. You feel me? So like, we're watching people transition their brands in real time to market, bro. Like, this is so fucking next level, like, in the industry right now. But you got to be able to see it and now you can see why, like, the memes are so important, because that's building a social environment where people can talk. It's just like cryptos are for the brain dead right now. Like, it's kind of wild. I don't think it's really yet. They're keeping it on the low, obviously, because if it stays in the hands of the wrong for as long as it can, it gives the right people the ability to build the right objects, because, it's like building in a real hurricane versus around the storm. And it's only been 15 years. So I still think we are building around a crazy storm that's getting ready to hit mainstream. It's hitting it in slow trinkets or slow bits, It's still fuck Coinbase. But dude, what are we going to do here? We're just going to scream, protest, fuck Coinbase, or we're going to use a coin like Optimism Zen or Base Zen that are free, open source coins. You can make a dApp on Optimism for Optimism with Zen, right? Burn Zen. That's kind of like where it is next, right? So the same goes for Solana, and watching, solXEN be on Solana, help with adding ambiguity into their fee structure, right? That tiny bit of ambiguity causes other people to reevaluate how they MEV. Got to MEV smarter, not harder. And that's pretty interesting. So I think, again, solXEN is doing exactly what it needs to do. I've slowed down on mining, but that AMP is still falling and people are still hashing. So I think it's doing exactly what it needs to do, and it's in the environment, right? Like, solXEN lives on Solana in that $4 billion TLV, and I don't need to worry that whenever there's a bull run or whatever, it's not going to be attractive to newcomers, right? Like, there's always going to be old people in a rising situation, right? Zen's going to forever rise, just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been going up over and over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over again. Every single year, it goes through ambiguity and it joins new people. Get on the boat, everybody. Get on this fucking Bitcoin boat. We're going to the moon, Like last year, they got a lot of DeFi people because of Ordinals and Taproot. And a lot of those DeFi people actually enjoyed the vacation. They stayed on Bitcoin. They never went back. They said, fuck it. And that's kind of where it is mentally in this transition, which I think is kind of bogus. I think it's bogus to limit yourself to other blockchains because you think you got it figured out. Like, I saw like a statistic yesterday where it was like that cryptocurrency is growing faster than the internet in understanding or in and comprehension. So humans are comprehending crypto quicker, and it is the internet, right? It's tokenized internet. It's basically squishing objects into bits so that you can package them across the global web, blah, blah, blah. And that's why, again, crypto is moving into that state where I think people are going to purchase the blockchain, and it's going to suck, but it is what it is. Like, the humans can't comprehend the skeleton. They can't comprehend the terminal. Shit, like, solXEN broke the minds of some of the best OGs in all of XEN. I mean, Xenium did it too. Xenium really broke a lot of people's balls. This one though, I get it, but I get why a lot of people don't like this transition, right, to a different blockchain, especially one that has Sam Bankman-Fried all over it, right? But he didn't even make Solana. He just funded it with your money. Go get your money back and get on Solana. Nah, but yeah, so like, again, these bigger companies, in my opinion, they're not taking over. They're really just stamping corporation on chain. And it's like, you could try to run away from it as much as you can, but you're still going to use a fucking credit card, right? Unless you're going to be a bandit your whole life, pseudo-anonymous your whole life. I get it. Like, you get it. You can hide all the fucking time. Like, what the fuck? I've been showing my face on YouTube for like a year and a half now. So it's whatever, bro. Like, and I live in New York. Like, bro, it's whatever. Like, no one, it's like being in the gym and thinking everyone's looking at you. No one's looking at you, bro. Like, what we are looking at is this TLV. And then from there is how can we get some of that into our projects? You know, seeing Ethereum at 64 billion, I don't need to focus anymore on making ETH popular, right? It's how do we make, you know, products more popular on top of Ethereum? And that's where the discrepancy comes in, because, you know, just like I said with Optimism, people who were trying to pump Optimism, it was like, bro, Optimism does not want to blockchain. They want to be an SDK. Like, that's like Ethereum now on a grand scale of things, which makes it hard to root for ETH, because it's like, yo, this just wants to be a giant SDK, and you just fucking rebrand it with enough money to get to the masses, and you can be part of it. Whoop-de-fucking-do, you know? Or you can drop a side chain and get a little bit of grant money out of this 64 billion, you know, and help crypto stagger probably for like the next 10 fucking years. So that's why, again, I'm fucking with Solana, bro. I can see it now. There is a consensus war that is being covered up with this EVM thing. And yeah, it's DeFi is new on Solana, and they have a lot of infrastructure. They have more infrastructure than DeFi itself. They got nodes, they got nerds, but they ain't got no real users. They got a bunch of handicap users, right? They got that for sure on lock, and that's because that keeps coins moving, and people love hitting slot machines, right? And that's all they have. So that's why, again, in solXEN world, that's all. It's pretty funny to look at right now. It's doing its thing, but it's just no one wants to buy this bullshit. Starting to kind of cook right now, because if you sell right now, your price impact is so crazy. But if you buy right now, it goes the same way too. So it's doing its thing. But again, there's nothing on Solana, and no one's looking at this. Like, even Potato Vampire, it's a whole ass meme. It's going up because the community is all into it. Hey, shout outs to Tekken for the 10 months. I just seen that. Damn, I just switched my view. What up, yo? What up, Dioschland? Much love, my German brother. They're all yonking at you. Everyone's yonking. But what up, crypto real estate? But yeah, so like, look at this is where I'm at with the state of current crypto right now. Like, Potato Vampire got all of the right elements to go up. I swears. But because it's old, right? It's 16 days old. It doesn't get no love because it's not. It's like that's not the alpha, right? So we've allowed these people to create the alpha as well. And stepping into Solana and like seeing this is eye-opening because again, the shift hasn't happened on Solana yet. They're still on like their early Binance days kind of vibe. So again, I've been analyzing this ideology because again, solXEN is a couple farms away from people being able to see it, right? It's just no one's focused on it because they're trying to get Solana online, and this is already finished. So it's got to live the Zen life, right? It needs developers to show up and want to build bigger and better ideas for it, which is fine. And I'm that's why again I'm looking at Solana like, is that where you build right now? I see what Base is doing, but it's almost like if I get crypto right, you don't want to build like they say start building now. It's like, yeah, I actually want to build for this smart wallet. Like I don't want to build for some other ass chain right now. Like they already got users. Like I don't need to try. And if it's good, they're going to fucking put me in the front. Right? Same with Solana. Solana's trying to put something in the front because when you go to their front page, like you're seeing the most wild shits. Everything sucks. Right? And everything is really fast. Like, let's look at this. Right? This pair was created 1 hour ago and it's trading at 5 million. You feel me? Like, this is normal. This is normal. This is people's lives every day. They come on this gram and they look for this. My group pumps it to here, your group pumps it to there, and then we let the clowns try to get the rest of it, right? And then you're scratching the internet trying to find these tiny little fucking things. So this is going to continue. I'm not expecting this to end. Like Zen didn't work, so all of crypto is fucking fried, and to think it's gonna change overnight is kind of like out of the picture. So it's almost like you should join it, right? Like it's almost like knowing Zen will work in the future, right? Because it's gonna be a coin that'll have the best narrative because everything else is gonna last a couple of days. This is gonna just be a normal thing, bro. Like forever, bro. Like until the industry changes and there's no signals. Like I see zero signals of things changing. I do kind of see things going back into native, and that's why again I think if you are into Zen, the best plays for the general Zenian is always going to be an Ethereum coin. So Base, Optimism, Zen, but everything else, if you know the motherfuckers, right? If you're on Binance chain and you're running a node, Zen B is for Zen is for you. But if you buy BNB, I do not recommend you turn your BNB into this shit. Maybe you mine, but even then you better go find the community, bro. I have no clue where these motherfuckers are. Like they're everywhere, but not in the chart, right? Same with Avalanche. And again, this is where I learned a lot about blockchains communities, because everything has an agenda because that's all they can shill, right? Again, the homie Execute made a valid point about Zen, and that it has different variations of narratives that are trying to stick, where everyone's trying to throw a dart and hit a bullseye with Zen to make it click for everyone, right? The ultimate clicker would have been X1 Chain by Jack Levin. Everybody was ready to jump in and dump the fuck out of XEN. Everybody was ready. Some of us were like, wow, this could be a better blockchain, but as you learn, and maybe that's a genius accident that I keep saying Jack is having. These are all genius accidents. I don't think anything is actually planned. My man's is just freestyling. And what's crazy is like this idea of like bringing people all along for the build. Because now that we see it all, you understand like really why like the top 6 is the top 6. Like if I'm looking at CoinMarketCap, and I'm being a realist, right? I've been in crypto since like fucking forever. And I've been in the corporation side of it. So I'm a corporate op. I'm working for the corporate ops. That I'm really doing because I want that too. Like, this is going to be trillions of dollars, bro. So if you're going for the bag, you want to get connected to one of these networks, and you really want to become, because we're close right now to the industry. So XEN is another pillar of, in my opinion, the journey to getting closer to maybe developing something as big. Because these things are going to get so out of reach, bro. You're not going to be able to release a fucking token from your toe. Like, the pump funds, like, it's building culture, bro. Like, I'm not even going to give all the game because that's not fair to myself. So you're going to have to figure that part out. But like I'm saying, they last a couple days, but everybody knows how to release them over and over and over again. So there's a culture there. And now looking at the major layer ones, because it's either you join that culture, right? You go get into the memes, you figure out what's coming out every single day, you hang out in the spaces, you put on the nasally voice, you know, you're that villain, right? Or you can be the other villain, the validator villain, the one that supplies the chain with all of its resources and then rips it from everybody as you dump it on the market. Let's fucking turn up. So that's kind of where I'm trying to live. Villain vampire node operator. That's my slogan. And looking at that particular side of crypto, we're in fucking shambles. Okay, everybody has tinfoil hats on. Nobody wants you to join their gang, right? Solana again. I'm hearing through the gate. I'm seeing and I'm hearing and I'm seeing again. So that's why I understand why they're number 5. There's a lot of people backing this, not because they want to, but because they kind of have to. Because there's nothing that is as shillable on a compute level. Everything else is following behind Ethereum. So it's kind of like a shot in the back if you instantly say, I'm like Ethereum. There was a moment in time where everybody was trying to kill ETH, and maybe that was the wrong approach. Right after Solana has dropped the we killed ETH thing, and it's more about like, hey, grandpa, you know, like they're on that shit. Like, we like what you got, but this is where we're trying to go. But we need mind share to make this happen. So like, there's actually this really cool clip here from this interview I watched. It's with Tolly. So this is a guy who created Solana, and then this is like, oh, look at that Memphis episode on Zora. So y'all see that shit? Even Bankless. See, it's all tied together, bro. It's like, that's where you want to put your mind, in my opinion. Unless you want to go to the dark side villain, meme lord, you can do that too. But that's cabal as well. So you got to pick the cabal you want to be in, bro. I just like the one I can see everywhere and it's easy to bet on. There's Zora one more time. But yeah, this is Tolly and then Justin from the ETH Foundation. What this is this conversation, I'm going to play a little clip of it. They're talking about the global state. So this is where the real bag is in crypto. Like, we all are buying tokens. That's fun. But what are we talking about on this channel in XEN? We talk about the creation and the distribution. And that creation and distribution is happening at a node level, right? That's where your coins are created. The ones that run the ones that you like to buy. They're born at the node. And those that operate the node, sometimes they sell them to you and you get to use them. But if the operation is really good, they ain't going to give them away. And that helps make the price go up. That's the incentive for the price action for speculators on these networks. That's like what's really going on in this top, right? Because your favorite shitcoin is never going to be in the top 10. So how do you get into the top 10? Right? That's how XEN is trying to move. And I still think it can have an array. It would be a different approach, though, that no one's ever done before, right? We're still in this era of solid token where everybody's ideology has to be focused on one fucking thing. I don't know why it's like that, but it is, right? In XEN, we have 3 different coins. We have XEN, we have XEN itself, and then we have XEN, which is going to be the native governance coin of the network of XEN, right? That's why it was important to take down OKX, because they were trying to do X1 network. And that's really, in my opinion, where we're headed. We're headed towards the branding of a network more than a blockchain. because the blockchain is so singular, and that's what the challenge is right now, like expanding people's minds to think Zen is not just a singular ideology, yet it's a global ideology that has a lot of different pieces that make up the whole thing. Right? And maybe it's not time to release that XEN coin yet because it's the network coin, and people need to comprehend how unique it is to be part of this network before they go to market, because that would be more impactful in my opinion than just releasing a coin and assuming it's a blockchain with a bunch of, as I've been saying, in this network of what we have right now, all we have is what we have, bro. You release X1 chain to these people, like, bro, like it's gonna get ripped apart right now. It should come when the bull market is here. So we're still looking at layer ones. Like, why hasn't Bitcoin gone to $84,000? People should be asking that question. Not when X1. Why Bitcoin not at $84,000, bro? What is the holdup? Why hasn't the world and Wall Street taken us to the promised land? Because we can't come up till they come up, right? So it's apparent. It's in our face. It's a L1 battle. And seeing Zen again go all the way to the depths of the bottom is just a good reminder of, like, you know, this is a way to launch a coin. It's a way to launch a network at the very bottom of the particular situation, right? And then you launch with the up and coming brand because, again, it's a singular experience. No one is looking at all of the components. They're looking at Solana. But when you look at Solana, right, you go into the, you know, you pull it into the garage. You're like, let me pop the fucking hood open. Oh, shit, $44 billion market cap, or be total value lock. Like, let's see what people are locking up, right? You're under the hood, and you go and you see judo. Me being a SolXEN miner, I just experienced that shit firsthand, and I'm like very intrigued. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And this is kind of why, again, I was saying Solana is built with network first principles. So since it's built with network first principles, it's like biggest TLV is a liquid staking pool to help support the network, right? Like the biggest TLV is supporting the network amongst others who have tokenized network support in a sense. And then there's a ton of these too. You got the Sactum. So that's pretty much what they've learned in Solana, and I think that's why they're getting a little bit further now. Their DeFi has come in, but it's based on helping the network more than it is based on helping a farm or some sort of finance. And that's kind of, again, I think that's tight. I think that's like again, a genius accident. They came in with this idea, and then people saw how nice the layout was, and again, they started to build from the outside in. And what you'll see here, so again, this conversation is about the general global share state and like why it's important to choose a layer one that everyone can protect, right? That's kind of weird. Let's listen in. Oh, is he gonna play or not?
Thread a little bit. So you're doing some MEV calculations with regard to block times, and I think you're alluding to an overly an acceleratingly centralizing network as a result of increased value capture. Can you kind of present some napkin math and why and where that actually points to your conclusion?
Right. So as a rough heuristic, MEV grows linearly with time. So if you have 400 milliseconds, that's worth twice as much as having 200 milliseconds. And like one way to think about it is that there's twice as many transactions that come in during this period of time, and so twice as many fees. Now,
it's not true though, because a lot of transactions land before your slot. So you've accumulated more than a block's worth of transactions prior to your slot. And then you may get 400 milliseconds more, but your period of when you're actually receiving data is any time. Just like I'm in a mempool, people just submit shit ahead of time. So you have a bunch of data that you can work with. The extra 400 milliseconds account for a very small window of that. So when you're cutting that 4%, You're talking about getting the very last bit of people that are trying to snipe something.
So, long story short, they're talking about these MEV bots because Solana works in milliseconds since it's like a computer. And Ethereum really works in the block 12-second, ideology where you get 12 seconds between each block for any sorts of correction of the chain, right? People are trying to jump ahead and things, but that's kind of why in Ethereum it's like weird in my opinion, because that's all we're betting on. We're just betting on this idea that 12 seconds is going to always be like the holy grail. But Solana is bringing this new approach where it's based on milliseconds, right? The speed of light is what they're breaking down. And the only way to get an advantage for the developer or for the node is to expand your network and take more, like I was saying, bullseyes. Like the more nodes you open, the more bullseyes you'll land, right? And that's great for decentralization because that's what you want. You want more people to make more bullseyes rather than 1 to 2 to 20 to 100 to 200 nodes cap, creating bullseyes, and then they're all just gaming a system full of billions of users. Like that's the state between Ethereum and Solana in this global state argument. I recommend you go watch this fucking video. It's actually really insightful. And here, I'll drop it in the chat. And like it brings, it just brings up this conversation of like, do you want a linear chain or do you want something that's a little bit more flexible? And when the flexibility is kicking in, it's all about network support. So essentially it's building a ton of infrastructure dApps to build the network, which a lot of other brands tried as well. But again, they're not like Solana. They're not the SVM. They were all shades of Ethereum, shades of Bitcoin. I mean, even down to like the Polkadot system. Like, where is Polkadot at now? Let's see. What up, Apestronaut? I'm with you on the validator thing. That's where it's at. Yo, validators get the bag. Look at total. Damn, Polkadot. That's crazy to think about. Damn, Polkadot. Damn, Polkadot. Everything's a parachain though, so you got to look at their parachains. Like their subcommittees, their neighborhoods. Let's see, is this it? But yeah, see, like crypto's in a weird state right now, and that's kind of why, again, I'm under this impression that right now this is the most pinnacle time for you to really understand what's happening at a node level. Because if you don't understand that, you're better off getting a smart wallet and being honest with Coinbase, or joining the dark side and getting into Solana memes that pump and dump within a few hours. You could do that. There's a lot of liquidity floating into this. You might just be buying something though that is against your whole fucking ideology. You're like, I don't believe in this at all, but I'm gonna do it for the gains, right? And yeah, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is right now. And if you want to save, I guess if you want to be pure on Solana has really good DeFi stuff though. Like this Judo network, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Like if you've it's helping helping you too with the MEVbot issue over on Solana. Because again, the transaction fees are so cheap because the base area of like, think of it as like a real building block, and the Solana SDK is in the middle of all of these ideas, and the ideas are best spawned from network infrastructure. So then if you're building like a Solana for Solana, you're like allowing for like the scale or for new ideas, powered in Sol, just like a L2, right? Now people can have Solana on 2 different areas, and yeah, this is all good for the network. It's helping the network get past the gray area of, we're an open network and anybody can just jump on this and, get some fees. But MEV botting is where you get the fees, because a lot of places won't let you into the nodes. And we just saw too, I saw like a tabloid yesterday where it said that Solana, it just started kicking out validators that validate blocks that are just MEV. Like they've just been MEVing the whole time. So now they're going to start kicking out MEV bots on that level as well. But yeah, so like you can get these coins and like stake them, and then you gain APY from everybody using the nodes. It's very simple DeFi, and it's just using user traffic on Solana to supply the overall ideology, right? That's kind of like everything in crypto. Like everything in crypto is just trying to figure out a way to support a pool for a bunch of users. And I am hip that you want to get to node level, but you also want to follow the projects that are at the node level, because that's going to be an easy win. I haven't actually tracked this token. Let's look at this token, this GTO. Slow down, Tupac. That's just the way it is. Yo, that's just the way it is, okay? Man, this GTO is $3. But see, like, this is kind of where I'm at with like anything solXEN related. Is the next thing would be building alongside these projects to bring awareness to solXEN. But like, that's why I'm like, yo, does Fair Crypto even want to do that? Is that like part of their plan, or something they would want? Because if not, then that means someone else has to build it, support it, believe in it, be Jack Levin, and it's like, is that even worth it if this project, doesn't get off the ground? Because we still live in a real crypto era where people stop liking coins. Yo, I mean, only reason people are going to go back and buy Zen is because it has tokenomics and time behind it. But like anything new, it's always going to be a little bit harder to get off the ground, because they're going to be afraid of like what happened with Zen. Right? So I do think solXEN needs some sort of destination. Until then, like, it's just kind of speculative as it should be. And maybe something will happen. You just get a little bit of it, and something cool will happen, right? But yeah, pairing it with like these kind of coins, and someone making like a DEX, maybe like a solXEN DEX or something on Solana. A lot of different ways to approach the game, because it's about the partnership. And that's kind of, again, why it's great to see Solana in the top 5 and it be one of the super sick computer blockchains. Like when you look at all the blockchains, like XRP, that's whack. Doge is just a copy of Bitcoin. Tone Chain is ID. This is pretty cool because of the whole integration into Telegram. The thing is that not everything can be played around the globe. So that's the issue with Tone, is that it's really not a global brand. Like it's just a crypto brand, which is fine, There's liquidity for that. Right? Cardano is Cardano. Nobody really wants to build around it, but a lot of people hold it and they hedge with it. Same with Avalanche. Seems like a lot of people are still hedging it, but they're not holding it. Tron, we know what it is. But see what I mean? There's nothing here that's going to be the same as Solana. Nothing. Aptos, possibly. But it's all because, like, again, what we're talking about is maxing out the node capacity so that the network runs at modern CPU. And a lot of the brands don't make consensus on the processing level, right? The way the votes and your just like how the node block producers are working is what makes Solana fast. It's what allows you to go and fill the nodes with fuckery. And like that is the that's the IP that everybody wants, that everyone wants to mimic now. And again, that's why I'm trying to break it down in this real fashion of like Ethereum does not have that IP anymore. Like it does not have the thing that everybody wants because of how it can only be tweaked to 9,000 TPS. But a Solana cluster, multiple people have tweaked it and it has gone to 200, 300, just on some ridiculous shit. But like, that's not to say, you know, you want it like that. But that's to say that if the cluster or like the hardware, the program, the software, whatever we want to call this new kernel, that's what's going to be worth, you feel me, like a market cap of $1 trillion, because it's a brand new kernel. It's a brand new ideology to how enterprise can hook up and give people what they need faster and more reliable. And there's no in between legacy errors, right? It's like, oh, I didn't upgrade, I'm still on Windows 95, like everybody's on XP or some dumb shit, right? So that's kind of why, again, I think Solana's a hanging fruit, because it's a brand new world. And that's why I'm not counting out ETH, because they're inviting people to build those layer 2s. And those layer 2s now have been snagged by companies like a Coinbase. Again, and just to put it all together, those layer 2s have been snagged by bigger corporations that can fund ideas behind the brand and keep the legacy going, right? Just might be in a different gated community, but it's still a ETH ideology using Optimism stack. Shout out CBZen. I don't know what it's doing right now, but it's going up 34%. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yo, we got Jack 11 in the house. I see him. But no, like Sheeb to 1 cent, man, even Sheeb. But yeah, that's why I'm like, yo, when you really look at it, the overall crypto market of today, like it's 2024 June 10th, and I keep trying to stamp on that because that's really where we are right now. And I see the old ideology continuously holding back the future because it's like our future is just supposed to be what's on this fucking screen right here. Like, this is what you're supposed to believe is all that is going to be, right? Like Tree just said, this is the way it is. Things will never be the same. Dog with hat, doxed, Elon Musk, Cobra Tree, Dollar Moon, Top G, what the hell? Beer? You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the racist shit, because that's all we got left. I was in a Twitter space yesterday, in this particular Twitter space, listening. And I was like, yo, this is the type of shit people buy because they're down so bad. Because the industry has them down so bad that this is all they feel that they can do. This is it. This is crackhead crypto antics. You are on crack. Like, if your portfolio touches this, or if you do some shiesty shit, like go and make a fake burner account to go and fuck with burner cryptos because you're down so bad, like you got to rip off this. Like, it's crazy, you feel me? But I understand it. Coins need to move, okay? This is the land. This is you don't control the realm. Coins are gonna move how they fucking move, and we're just gonna watch them move and just put our hands up like they gotta move them coins, man. Shit. It ain't touching my wallet though, right? That's what you say until it moons off. And you're like, God damn, I should have picked up some of them coins. But yeah, like all these coins coming out on Solana is because Solana makes it really easy to make coins. 1, 2, we have the pump.fun experiment going on where a lot of Solana now is becoming trapped in this world because, you know, it pumps up, it dumps, and then people just have these like shit coins, and there's just this Solana dust. So again, I'm not endorsing this, but I can understand why it's good for Solana, why it's helping their TVL, because a lot of that dust is going to get stuck and no one's going to be able to, again, sell it or move it around. And that's good for Solana. I mean, that's why it's like, it's hard for me to agree with it, but I saw the same thing happen with Binance Chain, and I was champion, you know, being fair. Oh, fair, blah, blah, blah. And like, no one gave a fuck. You know, now Binance Chain is what Binance Chain is. But you know what's the craziest thing is like watching the Asian community like venture off now into like all these other communities, and now everything has the opportunity to like get a wave. But back when Binance Chain was huge, this was like the only place you could find like all of Asia. But now they're everywhere. I see them in the Solana camps. I see them in the base camps. You know, base is again, their transactions are starting to heat up. People are starting to come over here and trade because their gas fees have fallen off a cliff. They have this thing where they can like keep opening up the gas to make it cheaper as the network grows. So, you know, fuck it. They have the nods button, and it's controlled like that. That's what it's base. I'm not on base to control anything. I'm there to get some gains, and I'm out. And I'm fucking out. But you know, definitely go check out what they got cooking. They don't have too many dApps yet though. Everything is still a meme, and that's kind of where I think Solana has again the advantage on a lot of these side chains on ETH is they just became like respectable. Like Ethereum users rejected side chains, and now they have to accept them, right? So it kind of sucks because now you don't have like this you have to build loyalty like from the biggest bag holders. And what's cool about base again is it's not focused on the old, it's focused on the new. So if the old bag holders come in, now they have to pump base, right? Because they didn't participate when it was at its lowest TVL before everybody jumped in. And you could like, there's a lot of different ways to get it, you know. You could have known like all the right memes and like put your ETH into all the right memes and be chilling in the right spot. Aerodrome. This looks like it's the #1 dApp on base. Let's check it out. Crackhead crypto. Now we can't meme that, man. We can't meme these fiends for the gains. Zen has changed my life. I used to want the gains 24/7. Now I just see crypto for what it is. A scam. Crypto is a scam. They're scamming you however they can. They about to get you locked in though. Bro, this frequently asked question part right here had me rolling this morning though. I was like, damn, an SDK of base? That's just the SDK of Optimism. Optimism's never going up. Ain't nobody give a fuck about that shit. That was just a community airdrop coin for thank you for your loyalty. So what this smart wallet is doing too, just to kind of give you some more game on it, is it's going to create like a ESN or like it's building in the one address theory for the user where that PK is connected and they can be everywhere with the wallet. They can be on any EVM though. It's going to be only EVM until they integrate Solana. We know Solana is on the way for Coinbase. They've already integrated Jupiter into Coinbase. So as you can see, that's probably going to be the lineage right now. And then whatever is similar to Solana, like a Sui, like a Aptos, like a X1, or that's why it's like, what is X1, you know? Because it's neither of any of those. Because I don't think Jack wants to be doesn't want to be the hardware. I don't think how do you say this? The Ethernet board on a computer. That is what Solana is trying to become. That is what a crypto should be. A crypto should be the Ethernet port of the computer, where all the data is going through that particular port and you're getting charged for the data coming through and you're paying for the data going out, right? It's just a pay portal, right? Right now we have a very ambiguous pay portal of Web 2 where I need to use my Google login or I need to create a password and la 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 la. Like that's actually not the future. The future is a one ID for one user, because that's just easier to onboard people. Now, where is that ID living? That's up to you to teach your family, you know, get them decentralized, introduce them to Zen, how to have ownership. You know, I know that's classic shit, but yeah, that might be the only way for you to protect and educate your family from just being controlled by these bigger entities that, you know, they're scamming them. It's the scam world, you know, they're here for the fee. You feel me? Like now your family got to pay $5 fee to use crypto outlets because you didn't teach them about Zen and the X1 open node. Who knows, you know? But that's why, again, I don't know what X1 lies in between all of this stuff, because it's all being integrated by a bigger brand. But then that's why, again, it would tell me that X1 would need to get all the legal parameters. Like, everything would need to be official so that when it hits the streets, no one can stop it from living the first principles in the light of the masses. Because if not, like, they would just shut it down and Coinbase would just keep going up. And then it's like X1 would only thrive if it's part of that big 8. But if you have no, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you have no plans and trying to be in that big 8, the only other approach is hardware. And then that is a problem, because not every brand can, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, not every brand can have a bunch of supercomputers pushing fucking data. That doesn't make any sense right now. No one even fucking cares. Why do we need 8 of those? You know, no one fucking cares. So it does make more sense for everyone to get behind the one that's been battle tested and has been proven that it's got something there. Somebody sees something there. So maybe others can believe in it, right? That's like Zen right now. Zen is being battle tested in price, which is sad. Whatever. I would say the other battle test in Zen is can you stay aligned that this is nothing more than a moment, like, in its journey, right? It's not a shit coin, so it's just a crypto. And is all of the work being done towards X1, is that worth the hodl? Is that worth the mint? Because that's where your destination is in Zen. It's only going to be X1 chain unless somebody invents something else. But that's why, again, I don't even think inventing something for Zen would save it from dumping. It could just make something fun, right? That's why, again, I'm like, yo, maybe the build really is on CB Zen and then maybe back to Ethereum as I continue this research. Because ETH is undecided right now without an X1 chain. Ethereum is literally without X1 chain. It sucks, right? So it's not, like, you see what I mean? Like, that's why this cannot be Solana. That's why Solana is interesting. It doesn't have all this bullshit built into its price. Even Totally himself's like, yeah, I sell Solana. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm sell pressure, right? That's actually real. Like, the network costs money to run. So I'm like, yo, to build a whole blockchain, it's way harder than just release and run away. That's impossible. That's not the new shit. Like, you're not going to be able to run the masses because they're not going to let you in. We know who they are. They know who we are. We see you. They see us. I got a sneak peek behind closed door number 1. It's pretty lovely back there. And they're going to attract a lot of people into these brands. It's almost like, too, it's like, yeah, if you wanted to work in Web3, like, why aren't you putting your ideology towards a brand that's getting VC funding? Like, why are you working in the pseudo-anonymous crypto sector? Getting hypnotized by people telling you to stay pseudo-anonymous. Like, Zen was literally the last one. If it couldn't do it, it's a wrap. It's gonna do it. But, like, right now, hell nah. You got to go and look at the bigger picture. And then when you look at the bigger picture, you just see, like, oh, yeah, this is on track for the finale, right? 29 is going to be the finale. 2030 will be the finale. Like, everything that we thought, like, of, you know, it's kind of like people who were, like, in the muscle cars. Like, the finale is here. Like, everything's going EV. I think maybe what was the last, like, really good muscle car that, like, everybody was like, sick, this engine's like fire, you know? But, like, now we're going into, like, this is EV. Like, the finale is done, bro. That shit is over. And it's a hard change. And it is what it is, you know? Like, that's why it's like, yo, crypto's a cool industry to be in, because you're constantly watching the evolution of what I do think, again, is going to be one to or a couple brands. A couple brands will survive the battle test of time. Bitcoin being one of them, we know it. Ethereum now being one of them, we know it. And now some other things are going to show up. right? So we'll see what those other things are. Solana's one of them. X1 will probably be one of them. I'm just so curious on how do you approach this now, knowing that you're gonna have both. You know, it's like, does X1 really come out as like a device? You know, it could be anything. It's really crazy to think about it, but like, yeah, like it could be anything. Because what you could do too is like you could actually, well, that's like, yeah, okay, this is really thinking private company ideology, but essentially we're getting down to like ASICs, where you can build expensive phones that run specific blockchain functionalities. So then that way you know, like the finality of how finite the connection is down to the program or the hardware level. But you would need, again, like a phone connected to a Solana because it's got a bigger network, you know. So it's very fascinating. Like, how can we get to this new era where like your car is on the blockchain, right? It's not going to happen where you're logging in using a MetaMask wallet. Like, that's not it. That's definitely not the future. The future is branded physicals, right? And that's kind of why, again, I think we're going under these umbrellas, because that's the easiest way to get them out to people. Like, if you have a physical object from Base and it's using ETH, it's going to be much easier to put both and both together, right? Like this smart wallet is just step one. I seen a crypto wallet on Solana too, basically say that it's also smart. So smart is going to be a thing in these wallets, and that's how you're going to get to physical ones. It'll just be smart this, smart that, and like everybody would be like, oh, I got this smart wallet, it's got a crypto in it, right? And it changes in front of our eyes. Like, it's like, damn, bro, that's just MetaMask. Like, what are you talking about, smart wallet? Like, that's just fucking MetaMask. Fuse wallet. What up, mind, body, and crypto? Fuck fee, nigga. Fucking cars drive us now. Yo, cars drive themselves. You talk Zen to new lows. It's like good old times. Zen's going. I mean, I was already saying it though. If you took my advice a week ago, you're good. If you took my advice 2 weeks ago, you're good too. 2 weeks ago is when I was like, oh, this shit's going back to 7 zeros maybe. It's going to be a hard way down, but it's going to try it. But yeah, you see this? Meet Fuse, Solana's first smart wallet. So be prepared for this part, yo. I'm seeing this come out 2025. Like, I think in 2025, we get hard physicals. And then that's kind of why, again, it's like, do you really want to approach crypto right now with this, like, I make good software? Or do you want to approach crypto with an architecture and an infrastructure to go head to head with what has already been battle tested for 3 years, that knows that like they have the same idea, right? Like, I'm telling you, Solana is a port, and it's up to you to build around it. And that's all on purpose. Because if they lay cables and they make Solana network, again, watch this video because they talk about that shit. They talk about how if they were able to get to that real speed of light through the cable, everything is different. And I'm like, yo, that changes crypto for real. Like, if you can make it where now the fee is on the user because the developer is paying a base fee for Solana, and as long as they can dev from that base fee up, and then they put the, they put the remaining balance onto the user. So whatever they're creating is what the user wants. That's why right now it's funny to watch Solana grow, because it's growing from the servers, from the nodes. It's not growing from the traditional way of like, there's these people who have coins and they're trying to tell you what it might do, right? Solana is literally saying, this is what we can do. And if you take this code and tweak it yourself, you can see what else you can do with it. But, you have all these XYZs that, are built into Solana that it's best for you to lean on, right? And that's kind of why I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is just a crazy part to be in. Because, yeah, you thought it was one thing, but it's really not. It's really not. So I'm excited though to see. I know both are gonna win, bro. That's why I'm telling you. I'm rooting for Base because that's where it's gonna win. Blast, I don't know about Blast, man. Blast is like the rogue area. That's the hoodie zone. Thruster. That's why you release X1 chain, you'll end up like something like this, where like just 2 billion and everybody's looking at it, and they won't care about the innovation, because as soon as the price for the TVEL starts to drop, everyone's like, oh, whatever, bro. Like, that's not even that cool. Yeah, so Base is doing the same thing. They want you to go over there and stake your coins. But this is where it starts. Like, you go, you find these stupid, wild APYs. You stake your coins, you unstake, you sell it, and you keep going. You bring their coins into life, and you just keep it going, you know? Low fees, low slippage. I'm going to have to check this out. I'm going to start checking out some more dApps, bro. But yeah, looking at, like, that's what I'm saying. Just looking at the overall idea here, like, Solana is running away because this is its own version, ready to go, deployed. They beat everybody to market. That's why, yeah, I don't know. We gotta get like Jack on a future conversation talking about what does the future look like, rather than everyone trying to figure out what today looks like. Because today is in shambles. Tomorrow will be in shambles. But the future, like couple months, quarters, like we can really understand where we're going. That's why it was easy to see, like, oh, X1 chain can't come out until, you know, I said, like, it's not going to come out in May, maybe June. Right now, I'm like, we're here in June, and I'm with the research team at the same level of capacity. And I'm like, wow, like, yeah, like, this is very unpredictable. Like, whoa, maybe you should have been looking at Solana first, but then nobody would have fucked with this ideology because they're such Ethereum driven, right? So it's almost like you had to go through this journey, and that's why it was perfect timing for Solana, because now we're here where we can see that, oh, the only way to scale ETH is to fractionalize it in a different fashion of L2s. But you're going to need the same thing for Solana, but you capture more fees as a node validator, and you're more decentralized because you're working towards a bigger ideology than ETH and Base, which means Base sets up its own nodes, Blast sets up its own nodes, and then they hope that ETH gets like an ETF to raise their whole industry, right? Or Base is basically using Coinbase as their brand to bring more users into their L2, right? So like that's why it's like, yo, fuck all that shit. You want a layer 1. You don't want a 2-for-1, right? That's a layer 2 for Ethereum. The layer 2s for Solana will just be landing and expanding pads. Some will come out and they'll probably be just like Solana. They won't offer too much, not much innovation. But some will come out like Solana, where the developers are Jack Levin, and they're changing the banking threads, and they're making it even faster. And you know, not focusing so much on stability, but maybe just like what are the faster things you can do with Solana, right? What are faster dApps? Maybe Solana one day upgrades to this idea. Things like that. You know, again, it's not like ETH layer 2, which is just open another basket to hold ETH for cheap French transactions. Like, tell me another narrative for layer 2. It's a basket full of ETH, centralized nodes. For what? So you can trade more USDC. Like, I don't even know. That's why I like Tone though, but it's very centric in this ideology of like, it's only in Telegram. Like, bruh, you're not gonna get too far because everyone's in Telegram and Discord, right? But it's dope for Telegram because in Telegram there's a tiny economy, so I wouldn't count them out. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing holding them back, you know. And yeah, that's like literally all these chains. Every single one of them, you have to kind of look at it in that aspect. At least for me, and at least that's how I'm seeing it for as long as I've been here for, is that everything is under the ETH umbrella, and Ethereum prefers it to be that way because we keep using Ethereum. So don't challenge the ETH, scale Ethereum. And then it helps, again, it puts Tron in the USDT bucket, which helps keep stables. It puts Binance, and it's like control Asia state. So everybody keeps their liquidity there because no one's challenging Ethereum, right? Solana is only up here because of the Bitcoiners at this point. They've put enough TVL behind it because, again, when you get down to the technology, it is the best blockchain out of every single one. It is the most flexible. And it's the most future-proof with the Rust building, since it's built in Rust and it's designed for, like, again, it's modular. It's like it's inviting people to create devices. Right now we're getting bullshit devices. We're getting Iggy dropping a cell phone on Solana, but maybe one day somebody will come through with a really cool device that they built using Solana, and using the CL, just building on top of the Solana, bro. Like, it's an OS. Like, you could build on top of it. It's crazy. And then that's what I mean. You could tweak it down and create a spinoff. And, like, if you have enough node power, you can do even cooler stuff. It's crazy. You really can't do that with Ethereum because everything's based on front running. Since it's not running, since it's 12-second blocks versus 400 milliseconds. The 12 seconds gives too much, like, it gives too much power to those that control the 12 seconds, man. That's what they don't want you to know, bro. That's probably what they really don't want us to know. Like, 10-minute blocks in Bitcoin, it's like, oh, all the nodes can control that 10 minutes. 12-second blocks in Ethereum, like, the nodes control that 12 seconds. So why wouldn't we go down to 400 milliseconds and make it a computer battle? Where if you don't have basically, if you're not rocking, like, the biggest, what is it, the Raiden 7950, and you need 128 gigabytes of RAM, right? Like, you need this crazy fast computer, in your living room or in your data center, and then that's what you can use to overpower the network. And the more compute you have, the more power you have over the network. But if the network continues to add compute, then you got to get bigger compute, So that's why I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That is literally getting as close as we can to the speed of light. And if that's like X1's motto and what X1 is trying to do. X1 wants to be in that same area, right? But again, it's like, it's building something different. It's not just building, again, what Solana is doing, which is going to be a VC ran blockchain. Like, this is going to get to a point where you're not going to be allowed to interact with inner Solana. Right now you can, but it's probably going to turn into like an Ethereum where the foundation is, you got to apply to be in that bitch to see what's going on, they're going to, you'll be able to do a lot of different things if you get close to the Solana area. And that's great for those that want to be in that kind of position, but I think that's still very early in crypto to think that that's it. So being a token holder, I don't mind. And then that's why, again, I think X1 kind of does make sense to be a bridge for all these singular ideas because they're all so single. That's all they can root for, so that you can only root for what their intentions are, right? And that's why I agree with Solana on that aspect, that we need to open source what they have, and it's there to be open sourced if people dig into it, and most that do, they enjoy it. It's as simple as that. Everything else is open source as well, but it's behind Ethereum, and when you open source up Ethereum, you see those 12-second blocks, which doesn't add any speculation to like how can this be different, right? Now Solana can talk about like, oh, we can be a cell phone because we're not focused on 12-second buffering, right? Like that's it, right? They could be a cell phone because they are not worried about buffering, especially if the phone itself has a hotline connection to Solana. And we're steps away from that. We're years away from that. So it's like the same thing. Is that where you want to be when the cell phones hit crypto world. Like, do you want to be like stuck behind the Ethereum where the phone is not attached to the blockchain and you're buying just tokens that are on the phone, or do you want to buy the phone itself? Sui's on the same hype though. What's going on, chat? And you can use it Solana without having to be filthy rich for gas. Well, yeah, that's like that's why they can sell this to the customers, because it's not like they have to be filthy rich. Eventually, you will have to be filthy rich though, because to get to the hub will be so many possible fees, right? Like the more people that join Solana without it having the ideal of scaling, the fees will go up and the network will be super congested. So it's on the developer to build with the right tools. So then that can create almost like a centralized feeling if they don't keep expanding that tool zone or the toolbox. That's why like a Solana does make sense in that atmosphere for Solana as well, because it's a new toolbox for bigger and more innovative ideas outside of the chain, on the chain, right? So really cool ideas, you know, and they'll keep that gas. That's why the gas fee for the base, like sending Solana to Solana shit, is cheap. It's when you want to go through a contract address, a program. The program needs to be correct, or you'll have to charge the user for the compute used to run the program. I mean, it's the same thing on ETH, but it's in gas limits or whatever. It's in gas. Compute is considered gas. It's weird. But yeah, we're getting far away from all that shit. It's so funny, bro. Like, because no one really cares about it anymore. So it's just turning into a strategy when you build from the ground up. Like, if you're really going to build a chain, because the chain, again, you're going to need legal, because there's no way you can go to market if you're not legal. You're going to have way too many bumps. You're going to spend so much money on marketing instead of just being legal and getting all the right channels, right? Once you become legal, you know, now you maybe end up on the Coinbase wallet, because you could be added to their channels, right? These are channels, right? That's kind of, again, the big picture overall for Solana. If they're going to be running the race because they're going through all the legal stuff, why not build behind them? Because it's on them not to get in trouble, right? You're just building. Look at Sui on the come up. What is this? Let's look at their number one. Diversify if you don't want to go back to your 9-to-5 job. I guess so. It really just depends. Like, everybody deserves a job though. I don't think anybody should think they're on vacation if they're in crypto. Like, what the fuck? The job is not done. Again, that's why I speak from a corporate swing of investment or of involvement. Because why not take a piece of the trillions of dollars that's coming into this market? Like, why not make crypto your 9-to-5 so that you can thrive with the market caps, you know? Instead of the theory or the old school way of thinking about this, where it's like, I'm here to go and relax. Like, that's fine, you know, you can go and relax, but I don't think the fight stops, you know? That's why Warren Buffett is a gray man in a young sport. Like, I'm still wondering why are all these gray men in the young sport, bro? Like, what the fuck? But that's what it is. The game don't stop. But yeah, you should diversify or get yourself into other things. But you can be all in Zen. Who cares? It's a cool thing. What's the solXEN price looking like? It's something you don't want to look at. solXEN doesn't really have a price, you know? You just mint it and hold it. Turn a little bit of Solana into solXEN. The one-stop liquidity pool for Sui. You see, this is why Sui isn't going to make it, in my opinion. All right, this is a Sui. Oh, let me see. Let me bring up this. So you see the Judo network. Where's it at? Where they got the about at? Maybe not this one. What was the other one? SolLand. So I was looking at this one, SolLend. And this is kind of why, again, I'm feeling like Solana just has everything you've been looking for. Like everything as in like a DeFi user. Like if you've been looking for a solid come up, like why aren't you on Solana? Because DeFi just got there and they're bringing a different approach. So this is a lending platform called SolLend on Solana, right? You see, they said they got their investors, Coinbase Ventures, you know what I'm saying? Pet Rock Capital, you know what I'm saying? Polychain Capital, you know, like, and then you go to Sui and you see like their number one, this is their number one lender, you know, OKX, DAO, Hashed, Gate.io, Via. Like you already know this is Asian AF. Like all these brands are from Asia. All these brands are from America. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen here? It's in our face. Like it's up to us to see it though. And that's why again I'm getting behind this whole Solana thing because I'm not gonna get left behind. Fuck all that shit. Fuck trying to chase the next thing. I can see it from the websites. It's in my face. It's like I could be on Sui, rooting for Sui, or I could really be working with what is the bigger picture here? Why is Solana getting so much baggage? Why are these programs, you know, trying to get my attention and not really care? Again, like, again, the game is about the first layer or layer one, the hub. How are we getting to that hub? How are we getting to that kernel? And how fast can that kernel output? That's all that matters. Right? So you got to ask yourself the same thing. That's why I'm rooting for Solana because I see where I see it, and then I can only root for Base because they're going head to head with Solana using Ethereum. That's the only, like, that's their only approach. We're gonna be just better than Solana. That's what Base is saying. We're gonna be better than Solana, and hey, more power to them. You know, you can't even be mad at them for trying to push that narrative. I know I said Pete Rock, Lowe's as Pet Rock. Hey, Pete Rock is doing a free concert here in New York with Common. It might be kind of tight. Focus on the gains play. I mean, you can gain it how you want to gain it. Crypto's upside down right now. Like, also too, they're about to rug crypto, right? And that's what Tree was saying this morning. The Tree was like, "Yo, I know Vampire Potato's holding up, but what the fuck? What's gonna happen with crypto?" What's gonna happen to it? What up, Busy? Now we're here from decentralized ideas to centralized Solana chain. Well, you know what's funny? It's all centralized. That's the saddest part of it all, is that it's all centralized. I used to root for decentralization, and then someone said it was a meme. And then I looked at like the chart of like node validators on Ethereum, and I was like, man, this shit is a fucking meme. Like, decentralization is impossible because you can't truthfully decentralize anything. Like, everybody wants to know something. The only way you can decentralize something is by keeping it in your head. Keeping it to yourself. That's the most decentralized object in the reality. It's something you keep to yourself. Other than that, everything else is like a shared experience. Like, I'm in that limbo of like, you can't share any of these experiences because nobody's in the crypto arena, as you know, like as us. Like, us as like the crypto users who are still here in a bear market, still providing logical comprehension on why price action is the way it is, and why news and tabloids are the way it is, or why like gas is the way it is. Like, that kind of stuff is like unexplainable to others because it's only our experience. So like, that's why it's like decentralization is amongst those that live it. But once one new brain enters It's like fucked up. You know, you're better off being a cult, right? We're like 100% cults rock for that theory because everybody's on the same fucking vibe. But cults suck because that is stupid. And why the fuck would you want that? Like, you know, randomness is way more cooler. But yeah, decentralization is a scam. That shit is not possible. The only way to decentralize yourself is to believe in yourself and keep it to yourself. R.I.P. Crypto failed. R.I.P. I mean, crypto's like it's the next generation of money though, or value transfer, whatever you want to call it. So that's why again, the thing about crypto, looking at Bitcoin right now, people think Bitcoin is the answer, but it's not. So it's being fabricated. The price is all fabricated at this point. If you're really on trend, you know that this is a real store of value and that essentially it's the best pilot to usher in this new asset class to the masses, right? They're already dumb. You know what I'm saying? They're flipping burgers for $8 an hour type shit. Like, this is crazy. Like, we gotta, you know, leave a tip. Damn it, leave a tip. I've turned into a tipper myself. You know what I'm saying? Leave a tip, damn it. Because yeah, they getting scammed. And that's a good deed. Because we're looking at this crypto market and they're trying to do the same thing to us as users. They're putting all this ideology behind this object that's unscalable. Make you think it's gonna be decentralized, but it's not possible. Right? So like Solana itself is centralized at the node level. The only way to decentralize Solana at the node level is to make a layer 2 and have a community big enough to fork over, similar to Pulse Chain and Ethereum, right? Like Hex community got so big they were able to fork users to a new zone. Same thing with BNB. BNB got so big they forked users to a new zone. Avalanche, I'm still trying to figure them out. They had a really good YouTube run. I think that's how everybody found out about them. And then same with like SHIB. SHIB had a lot of users on Ethereum, ported them over to Shibarium, and that's why that's still a thing. Polkadot is even the same thing. It was a bunch of ETH heads that moved into Polkadot because they didn't like the direction that Vitalik was going because he didn't endorse layer 2s or parachains, right? So we know all the fucking history here. That's why, again, it's like Solana is centralized, but it's because it's the foundation and it has to be. None of the cryptos are allowed to not be centralized. Like, that's a bigger fight. That's like us going and protesting like around. Like, that's like, we got to start a protest. If y'all really want to do it, we could start a protest. We want decentralization. Decentralize our coins. Like, we going up against 10 brands that still all like don't give a fuck about decentralization. They just want the bag because there's so much money attached to decentralization. Like 67 trillion is expected, bruh. What are we at right now? 2.6 trillion. Yeah, 67 trillion has been projected forecast market cap for Bitcoin since like 2024 or 2014, so the last 10 years. So I still think that's possible because I think we're getting ready to see that explosion from this 2 trillion to a 10 trillion. And then it won't be too hard to get the remaining amounts of like the planet into crypto as they slowly like usher in the inflation. Right. And then they're going to keep printing money in the reality. Like, that's never going to stop. So that's going to help the market cap inflate. And those coins that, again, that have culture or helped build, you know, at the bottom where now we have these software developers that can use the technology to build new things. Those are the ones that are going to survive. Right. Those are the ones. It's going to be the ones that speak to the developers to say, hey, I'm going to use this. And that's why, again, I like Solana. Because in the middle of Solana, that's what they're selling you for $161. If you want to look at it like that, because decentralization is just is capping. So for 70,000, you can get one Bitcoin, and then you can open up a node. Or actually, you can't even do that with a Bitcoin because it's not proof of stake. So you got to actually go get some hardware. Then you can open up a node. Then you can maybe make one Bitcoin. Then you can get a Taproot side chain that runs on Satoshis, put your one BTC behind it, fund that motherfucker, put it out into the reality, let other people bring their Satoshis to it, then you port that shit back to main Bitcoin and you sell on their fucking heads. That's all you can do. That is it for $70,000, right? Everything is just software. Same with the ETH, because you need the gas to deploy, right? It just so happens to be that deving on these chains have become so expensive that the discussion has changed. Like, hey, well, why don't you go deploy on base chain and come back to Ethereum? Like, come back to mainnet. It's like, bro, base chain is not even here. Like, this whole coin market cap thing is going to change because now they got to add the layer 2s with the layer 1 so we can see like the real TVL, right? That's why like looking at this one, that DeFi Llama, is more realistic of like what today's atmosphere is. Where's the TLV? Where are the people staking? So that's why I'm like, yo, we can do decentralization. That's X1 is still the people's ability to do it if they want to, but now it's got to go to zero because the people can't handle the truth. So send it all the way low to the flow, and then we'll all scoop it up, and then Jack will come out with a native SDK that we can all spend our XN coins on, you know. But hopefully he does it the legal way so we can actually go long on this shit. So I'm like, yo, I guess I'm a supporter of this whole, like, he really does need to get it legal, because if not, then it's all for nothing. Because there's no way, like, even me, like, how am I going to create a blockchain and go up against Coinbase? Like, I can get all the followers in the world. I could pay for everything and be an influencer on every inch of crypto, but I will never be able to go against their VCs. Like, that's impossible. I mean, maybe I can, but that's a movie that I don't want to fucking live. You can live that movie. I don't want to live the movie. I got other shit to do than go head to head with Coinbase. Like I said, I got better shit to do right now than go stand outside of City Hall saying, decentralize my coins. You know, I'll just mint some Zen coins and know, like, for a fact, like, yo, this is 100% mine. You know, I'll go make some solXEN because I hashed the 420 and I own the coins. I'll go make some XEN because I hashed the coins and now I got some XEN. Right? That's the easy way out. But I know that people want to make it a little bit more complicated. But choose that easy way, though. I raised 60,000 to grab more Shiba. Shiba's probably still gonna go up. Shibarium was never in my investment thesis. Was never in my investment thesis. Yeah, that's why it's crazy. They all cryptos do it right, though. They capture their users into a layer 1 or a layer 2 so that they have their own little Disneyland to play inside of. You know, and that's like, that's why only reason I'm happy X1 is not out is because who would have thought that we would have just kept learning that, like, you don't want that. You don't want to silo yourself to not be part of the future conversation, to not be, you know, or running in the race of, like, what does this technology bring to the table? But yeah, you could totally be a meme and, like, that's fine. But yeah, I'm hoping I don't pick a meme. Only meme I own is potatoes. It's the potatoes. Hey, Dan says he has 3 friends that he's been friends with since kindergarten in the Zen ecosystem. They are some of the first 10,000 holders of Shiba Inu. They also are long-term in Zen. Let's fucking go. I mean, yeah, Zen is a long game. That's why it's like really it's decentralizing itself in the Linux fashion. And I think that's a good way to roll out. I'm going to stay by that because fuck it. If Zen doesn't work, that's one thing I'm going to say for something that I'm going to try to make, which is crypto needs to be in the lineage of Linux and GNU. Because if it's not, it's going to take on some personality. Like, that's why Solana is weird. At the end of the day, Solana, it works from the command line, very easy and simple to create things. So it really is an extension of Linux. But it's it's got so much makeup and, you know, like, it is what it is to the mainstream because that's what mainstream doesn't need to see, you know, like the whole Linux side of things. And That's kind of why I think it's hard to say it's open source, because it didn't take a lot of the DNA from open sourceness like a Zen coin. Like Zen went 100% open source. Like it's going to zero is so damn open source. Like 0, 0, right? And that's kind of, again, that's like its story. Like it's nice story. Like the way Solana went to 0 was FTX crashed. So that's its story to 0 and beyond. But yeah, that's why I'm not playing out Zen, bro. Like that's a long-term play. Like you do it, you keep it, you watch and observe everybody cry every time it goes down because they actually bought it. They didn't mine it, right? You mine it and then you sell it if it's in profit. You don't claim it if it's not. You know, you take the chances. It was down to 4 Gwei the other day. So there's a lot of different things. Sonia, are you still mining XNM? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I got my miner running. It's on Vast though. Because on Vast, you can do it for like 3 cents an hour. So like I'm spending like $1 a day. So it doesn't really matter for me. For me. Because I can't, I mean, I'm not like, I'm not in a rush anymore. I'm already swallowed the pill. Like this shit is going to take forever. That's why I'm looking at other things and I'm like, damn, like everything's going to take forever. Like nothing is going to, like the whole market is going to tank soon. So everything's going to ready to take forever again. But yeah, so I'm mining XEN because at any moment in time, X1 can just become a thing. It's not out. It's got a lot of speculation. I can keep saying it's going to come out, which keeps adding to the speculation because I don't fucking know, but I think it is. And yeah, that's kind of great for something that's not out yet. So keep mining the XNM because those are automatic XN coins versus like Zen, which keeps going down, down, down. And it's like hard to buy the bottom, right? But in XNM, every time you mine the coin, it's going to be based on market value. And there's only 620 million over the course of the next 15 years, right? So it has a stronger tokenomic than Zen itself, than XNM itself too. So I'm gonna keep mining those for real, for real. So you see the dollar finally bumped up to 105. I haven't looked at this in a while, but it had a run to 6 and it came down, of course, like I was saying, to that 200. It dribbled and it bounced out. So this is getting ready to run. And again, and we're going back to that classic thing where they're going to pull some of these Bitcoin funds into the dollar because this is a weak blow, or this is like a weak area. Like we need someone to take us out of this, but nobody's down to buy the Bitcoins because they're saturated. They're waiting on the pump, right? That's the problem in crypto. People wait on the pump and then you get a group of individuals waiting on the pump, and now it's more likely to go down because now you have all these people who've been waiting, right? So I'm expecting Bitcoin to pull back and come down and test this 200 because it's been up here for a while. At some point, I don't know when exactly though, right? It could still come down and test 50K, but it's good to see the 200 at 55. But yeah, it needs to really reset itself. This one, we got really, really close, all the way down to 56. But we could totally come down and do it one more time, get a little bit more oversold on this RSI, and then that would allow everything to sell off. So your Ethereums would be cheap, your Solanas would be cheap, you know, and that's great because that's when the gains happen. It's when everything becomes cheap again. So your Solana will become cheap. See, I'm kind of just waiting on this to happen. That's why I'm looking at PV right now, and I'm just this potato vampire, and I'm just surprised. I'm like, yo, no one is selling this shit. No one is. They just buying it, and it's like it's a meme, bro. Death to mediocrity. Well, we probably needed some blah 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 death to mediocrity T-shirts or something. We need to give away one of those. That'll make people believe in it. Also, it's doing pretty good because it's paired with solXEN. So the PV solXEN pair, it's up 13%. Because if solXEN becomes successful, then Potato Vampire should go up with it because it's one of the biggest trading pools. And that's like the issue right now in solXEN, is that there's nobody that's buying it because there's no destination. So whenever that's why you could speculate on that. Like, and if you buy, it's going to pump the price. Like, some people are dumping, like you'll see here, they'll dump like 12 million and it'll like significantly impact the price because there's not much in the liquidity pool. And yeah, I mean, there's like some other things, like this could be rolled out a lot differently. But again, that's why it's like, yo, this is a vanilla miner, right? Who's to say someone won't take this and remix it and make it more appealing, and then this is just another pool, you know? But it's a new coin is going to come from its mining algorithm, because now it lives on Solana. The ideas are cooking. But yeah, this is up to 16 billion. The AMP is down to 275. Right, so every 420 you find, you get 275 solXEN coins. So we are reaching lower lows. This will be the most spicy though when it gets to 100. So we're 175 amps away. However long that takes. But yeah, that's when we'll start to see people making less solXEN. So I'm waiting for more selling to happen, but maybe people stop selling, or maybe no one sells now because they see it as like a long-term play. Which I'm not mad at them if they think that. Like, who am I? Somebody might see solXEN and be like, yo, that's a proof of work coin. Somebody went over and gave their rewards away. I'm going to go swoop them. And so on and so on. But yo, I've been chatting for a minute, man. I'm going to go have a fucking Monday. Yep. But yo, stay zen. Again, everything is, I think, still going according as planned. It's funny watching and observing everyone bring their own ideology. Because again, it proves that like Zen is turning into a distro where it's a hub and it has an ID, right? It has like, that's the ID right there, Zen. But then everything around it has the ability to believe in whatever it wants or produce whatever it wants. So that's going to make more from a tiny brick, right? And that's the real crypto journey right now. Everyone's building from tiny bricks, but you need a reason in general to make one. So it's harder to make a tiny brick than it is to make a giant one. And that's why I think Zen has total legs, even through all this downwards ambiguity. It's just an observation to see what the bottom really looks like and how maybe you can redesign this area if there's opportunity there, right? Every bottom in crypto has an opportunity to be redesigned. So I'm just observing, and yeah, bro, we're gonna see where that real bottom is. 7 zeros, 84. Let's go. Peace out.